Hello and compliment of the season. It's been a powerful season and beautiful experiences for me. The other day I was trying to teach my little baby how to recite Psalm 23. And as we were doing that, something amazing happened. It was a remarkable experience that really impacted my faith and my relationship with Jesus, the reason for the season. As I was speaking those words, it felt as though I wasn't the one speaking anymore. Like someone else took over from me and started speaking while I was just there listening. I was just learning with the curiosity of a child. And the words became so crystallized and so real to me. They became so powerful and so alive that I began to realize the powerful grace and blessings that are contained in that simple bit, powerful scripture. I got so excited. I felt like I hit a jackpot, and I started to celebrate. I started to jubilate, speaking those words to myself, lavishing myself with those words. And as I was doing that, something amazing happened. I felt burdens being lifted off my soul. I felt fears, worries, anxieties that I didn't even know where they started dissipating and losing their grips. I felt so light. I felt like a child without responsibilities. It was so beautiful, and it lasted like about 2 hours of prayers. Then afterward, I sat down. I began to think about the responsibility of a shepherd to the sheep, about what it really means for Jesus to be our shepherd. A shepherd isn't just there to keep the sheep together. He's fully responsible for them. He feeds them, protects them, guides them, and defends them. And then it dawned on me, Jesus is responsible for me. He's not distant, he's not passive, he's actively responsible for me, constantly working behind the scenes of the events, the experiences, and the circumstances of my life. He provides for me. For example, there have been many times when in my life there are projects to execute or bills piled up and no clue of where to get money, to solve those problems. But after a while, when I look back, I realized that those needs has been met, those projects has been executed, and I began to ask myself, how on earth did it happen? Sometimes I sit down with my husband and we began to calculate like what we spend in a month compared to what we actually earn, and it doesn't just add up. At those moments, we concluded that it's divine providence, it's the shepherd at work. And this shepherd doesn't just provide, he also leads and guides us. When we stray, like when we make mistakes or lose focus, Jesus doesn't just give up on us. He keeps the 99 and searches for us, finds us, and gently leads us back into his loving arms. And the amazing part is that if we get wounded or hurt along the way, out of rebellion, foolishness, or disobedience, as they always have their consequences, Jesus never walks away or leaves us broken. He doesn't tell us, oh, meh. No, he binds our wound and heals our hearts. He guides us with so much grace and love and reminds us that no matter how far we wander, he will always bring us back. When danger looms, when life gets scary and our hearts overwhelmed by fear, whether it's the lions roaring, the bears stalking, or the vultures cycling, this great shepherd stills our fears and furnishes our heart with his peace. He reminds us that we are never alone and whispers to our hearts never to be afraid, because he has insulated us with his presence, and whatever that seeks to harm us will first get through him. So that day, Psalm 23 became more than a Bible verse for me. It became my reality. I realized that when Jesus says, I am your shepherd, he is taking full responsibility for me. He provides for me, he guides me, he leads me, protects me, and loves me in ways that I can't even begin to describe. When I stray, he finds me. When I'm afraid, he shields me. When I'm weak, he strengthens me. He's always present, always faithful, and always working for my good. So now, when life feels so overwhelming, when challenges seem too big or fears too strong, I remind myself of this truth. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, and I lack nothing. Psalm 23 is not just a nice scripture to recite. It is a living, breathing promise. it's a reminder that we are never alone, that our shepherd is always watching over us, guiding us, and providing for us. Let that truth settle in your heart. It's not just a scripture to memorize, it is a reality to live by. Jesus is your shepherd, and he's got you no matter what.